I don't know. I'm just I'm trying. I'm decided to do this course, and I don't know the field in which I am. I don't know if it's going to complement what I'm doing. I'm hoping it's going to complement what I'm doing. That's why I'm here. What I'm doing mainly at the moment is training. It's training and mentoring. So basically, I bring all the different skill sets that I have in entrepreneurship and employability skills, and then I'm adding a lot of other skills that I had before, which is basically technology, internet, things like that. So I use that to define the courses that I'm running, to show people lots of different things. Even video editing is in there as well. So I'm just seeing how this course is going to complement what I'm doing. To take, I've got a new social enterprise that I've just started. How it's going to take it forward and expand it.
Sounds like you've got a lot of relevant experience. So I'd be interested to know what sort of motivation there was to do this particular course.
Well, the first motivation is to learn more, to expand my knowledge, skills, and competence. The next one is how to complement what I'm doing, so that I can have a flexible running my own company, so the flexibility of running my own company, and then being there as well. The most important aspect is I've got young kids, so I want to be around all the time when they come back from school, can pick them up, something that's going to take me around that, and at the same time expand.
So some of it is around flexibility, is it? And the opportunity that might provide in the future?
Yeah.
What are the other areas that are attracting you to coaching and career management?
The aspect of, things that I didn't have that I was looking for when I did my undergraduate, that I was looking for that I couldn't get. I have to go around and acquiring those skills myself. And I'm so fine. And then there's a lot more people who need the same type of skills. So that's how I started. So for me, it's just building on top of what the knowledge base that I have, building on top of it.
Making greater sense of it, getting a more complete picture of what a skill set would look like.
Yeah.
Those are the sort of things you're looking at.
Yeah, I think the field in which I'm operating, I've got probably all the skills I need to run to operate in that skills. The coaching and the career management aspect of it is I think I felt I needed more grounding in that, a lot more grounding in that, so that I can feel I'm really competent in it. Because what I'm doing is basically I'm doing my undergraduate studies and my work experience, using all those ones together to mitigate what I'm doing. But I'm thinking I need a formal, rigorous academic background to understand the research methods in the field, probably a little bit better than what I know.
So I'm interested to know what sort of concerns or issues you might have at the beginning of this course that might be helped through coaching.
I think the first, I came in late, but my expectation of what I thought I was going to be about, the explanation that is being given is slightly probably different from what I'm expecting. But I think that's good, because then he's taking me out of my comfort zone and he's taking me somewhere else which is really what I was looking for. So it's a challenge. So I think it's good.
And how do you think you'll approach the course now you're a bit more aware of what it actually comprises?
I think I'll approach the course probably the same way I do everything else. Very, very, very. I'll attack it. Very, very. Make sure I know everything. That's the way I do. I have a tunnel vision. If I have something to study with, or a project or whatever, I give it a tunnel vision. Make sure I understand everything that's in there, theoretical and practical and everything else. And look for people who already have an experience in the field already, who know better than me, and learn from them.
So what sort of things do you think you could do to help you in that regard?
Probably start to implement some of the things we're learning as we start, incorporate it into what I'm doing. So I get a practical and theoretical experience straight from the beginning.
So move those learnings, you're saying, into your occupation and into the workplace. That sounds a really good idea. What else do you think you can do to make a success of this commitment? Because it's a big commitment, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a lot of time, over 2 years. So what other things do you think you could be doing to give yourself the confidence to work well in this space?
Probably try and observe and find out and locate people who are already in the field, who are have a better experience, doing it better, and then learn from them.
So learn from they're already ahead of you. They've already got the skills. They probably may have done this sort of educational path and already in the field. It's a really good idea.
To see how what they're doing and what I'm learning can complement what I already know and what I already do. So how I can complement that to really get the best potential out of the course and myself.
And do you have an idea of how you view success at the end of this course? What would that look like?
Well, at the end of the course, I think I'll have different aspects of success, but I need both of them. Getting the skill set that will allow me to help people, which is basically, for me, that's my first motivation. And then the flexibility of it and the money that you get, that's a secondary factor for me. At the same time, making sure that every project that I take on, I want to, like the degree, I want to have a very good degree. Let's see if it's a distinction or merit or something. So those are the two things I'm going to view as success.
So there's a level of accreditation that you earn as a result of the masters. Are there other goals that you may have, which may be financial, or building a client base, or gaining a reputation around a particular area of expertise? Are there particular things that you might strive for beyond that academic success?
Well, the particular things really that I'm looking for is building a reputation, a client base, and really actually being able to expand the business that I have, so I can get probably very good contracts, so I can expand it. So it's a client base and a reputation in addition to the academic success.
Yeah, how important is that economic portion, that part to you?
The economic portion is important, but that is not a be it all for me. That's the flexibility that's going to allow me to be able to be there for my family or whatever. That's more important for me. And then academic success. So these three, for me, are equal measures. All of them. For me, if I'm able to achieve all of them, then I'll see it as a success.
Are you able to see where potential roadblocks may lie, where you feel there may be areas of particular challenge?
I think that's what I'm like, because the organization that I run at the moment is completely different from the set. Is different from this, because the set that I run at the moment, I've got clients that come in and I got a program that I'm running. People sign on into the program and you run it. This one, this skill set, the way I'm looking at it is like a consultation base, which is, I'm thinking the client base probably might be smaller. So how that runs is for me, the learning process through that is for me is a roadblock that I'm thinking about, that I need to tackle to really figure out how that one works.
Just unpack for me for a minute the sort of material that you run at the moment, your client base at the moment. What happens there? Can you just run me through it?
Well, what happens there is that I've got 3 programs running. I've got one which is entrepreneurship, people, a 16-week program where people who want to start a business, they come on a course and run a 16-week program, which is theoretical and practical.
So this is for business startups?
Yeah, for business startups.
Yeah.
So, but at the end, the niche that I have is that a lot of other startups, you come in and they give you lectures on what to do. And then at the end of it, you need to take those lectures and implement the skill set from it. But a lot of people, what I see was that my observation research was that at the end of the course, probably only about 20 or less % of people go on to implement it because they're overwhelmed with the things they need to do. So my project is different. I take you through the process, step by step. So it's a learning process, practical. So you have to implement everything week by week. So by the time you finish, you are able to create a website for yourself. You are able to create the social media platforms for yourself, because I'm teaching you all that.
So they've implemented the building blocks for their own business by the end of that period.
By the end of the 16 weeks. So by the time you finish, everything is implemented for you. So then you are not overwhelmed by it. So the only thing you need to bring to me is your idea, your business idea, because I can't give you that. But the skill set...
That would be a good one if you could.
Yeah, but the skill set that you need to implement the things that you need to do, for a social media platform, for a LinkedIn page, for a YouTube channel, how to video it, how to edit it. We'll take you through all the process step by step, everything.
So by the end, they have enough of the building blocks in place.
To create, everything is created for you at the end. You create everything through the process for you at the end. And you get a resource that you can go back to let's say you want to create a YouTube channel, you want to implement a lot more things on it. You got a resource that you can go back and implement.
So have you managed to give any thought as to how coaching would work alongside that or augment that offer?
That is what I'm looking at. That is what I'm looking at. How is it going to augment that? So my challenge is to learn from people who are already in the field who are doing it. How can I take that to complement what I'm doing?
And what thoughts have you had already about how that could be added to that offer?
Originally, when I thought about it, because for me, my end program, end of the year, is to get contracts from the job center plus so one of the contracts are bigger. Once I get those contracts, they're fairly big. I'm thinking, would I be able to implement those contracts at the same time as running a consultancy for coaching? So I need to look at the end of the course or in the process of the course, figure out, do I need to move from one field to the other?
They sound as if they could be complementary.
Complementary, that's my point. So I need to find a way to complement it, because the field in which I am, I know a lot about it, I'm doing it, but I don't know a lot about the coaching field. So that's where I need to learn, and I need to learn from people already in there.
Oh, it sounds like a really worthwhile challenge. So where do you think you can explore that? Where do you think you can go to explore that, either now or over the period of this course?
I think over the period of the course, I need to find people who are in here, who are doing it. So I mean, find a way that I can observe what they're doing. I can learn from them what they're doing, and a lot of the things that I'm doing as well. So if you can link up and do, because my things are different from what they do. So if you can link up to do some of the things I'm doing with them, so in that process I'm learning from them, practical aspects of it. I'm learning from them, so I can see how I can implement it. Or if I'm trying to implement it, I can have conversations with them about the way I'm implementing it. Is it going to be successful? How did they do it? How did they start it? And how did they work it out?
So there's conversations around design,
Yes.
design of the coaching offer, and then conversations around how others have implemented that successfully. We hope. So they sound like two really promising and positive ways to take that direction. What do you think you can do between now and when we meet next time to explore that a bit further?
Oh, between now and we meet next time, I'm going to research because I've got a lot. The things I've taken a lot of notes on what's happened so far, so I'm going to research it thoroughly to get an understanding of what's happening. And get all the materials that I can get. I've got some materials already, but I'm going to add a lot more materials as the course starts, and I'm going to make sure every week, by the time I come, whatever we are taught today, I'm going to make sure I research it and I understand it thoroughly before I come next time.
That's really good. It sounds like you've really got some momentum there. You've got some great ideas, some great feeders to move out to those with those areas of knowledge. I look forward to us meeting again next time to review the research you've managed to complete. Well done. Thank you very much. Thank you.